talking about the whole question of coaches particularly, and I kind of think it's one of those things that quite a lot of people are maybe turning to if they're used to getting the train somewhere. They're thinking, right, I might get on a coach instead. Let's speak to Andreas Schörling, who's the managing director of the coach company FlixBus. Hello, Andreas. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me on the show.
Well, lovely to have you. How many more people are coming on your coaches than you've had in the past?
Well, we have been seeing a massive increase in passenger numbers already from the beginning of 22. So we see that coach is up and coming, and a lot of people are interested in traveling with coach. Then if we are comparing this week with the same week last year, we've seen an increase of 177%.
Wow. That's a lot more people.
Absolutely. And we think it's a great opportunity to showcase just how good of a transport mode coach is. We, as FlixBus, have developed great digital offering, so it's very easy to book tickets. We have free Wi-Fi on board. You have USB chargers and also a very generous seat pitch. So the travel journey, and I heard your listener here before, it's a very comfortable journey. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer, but the affordability of it often compensates for that.
You are obviously at the mercy of the road networks, aren't you? And is that something that is a big issue, that if because the road networks are not ideal at times either, particularly at a weekend?
Of course, we are dependent on that, and whenever there are roadworks that impact it. At the same time, it gives us a massive flexibility that perhaps the rail system doesn't have. Whenever there are blockage or works, we can take other routes, plus we can reach destinations that don't have rail connections.
You've said that you've had this 177% increase from January last year. Have you put on extra coaches? Do you have the capacity to put on extra coaches if you're seeing this increase in passenger numbers?
We are, of course, doing everything we can to increase the capacity on the network, and are doing this also for Christmas, for February school holidays. So that's something that is part of our business model, and that really kind of the flexibility of the coach travel provides. And I also want to take the opportunity to really thank all the coach operators across the country that are doing a tremendous work at the moment with supporting the transport industry that is in a very challenging period at the moment.
And how do you compare the environmental impact of a coach rather than a train?
Yeah, I think it's an excellent point, and coach is a very sustainable way of traveling, because anything that shares the transport mode is fantastic, especially with having coaches where you can get up to 50 people on one coach. Plus, we have the most environmental friendly technology that is the Euro 6 engine. It's a great sustainable way of travel.
Do you think in the end trains could be made redundant if more and more people take to the coaches?
I think we're definitely seeing a big uptake in coach travel. Then transport is a very complex topic, and you always have different transport modes. You would have coach, you'd have trains, you'd have cars. But I think it's really in the interest of the wider public that we use more coaches, because it's a very affordable, reliable, and also sustainable way of traveling.
Andreas, good to talk to you this morning. Thank you very much indeed for being on the programme with us.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Do you know, Andreas mentioned the phrase generous seat pitch there, didn't he? Which the overall space you must get as a passenger. But hearing that phrase, generous seats, can I just quickly tell you, right, whenever I hear, I don't often hear that phrase, no. But I remember when I got married many moons ago, I was, as soon as I heard him say those three words, it brought back a story. When I was getting married, it's the one and only time I've ever had a suit fitted, right, in my life. One time. I've got other suits, but they're off the peg, exactly. And anyway, so I was getting measured for this suit, and he sort of did the top half, and then he does the bottom half. He goes around and he goes, Yes, he goes, you have what we call in the trade a generous seat. And obviously, he just meant I had a big backside, basically,
Yes.
and that was that.
Well, I wonder if Andreas's coaches are generous enough for your seat. That's the question.
I hope so. I think so.
Yeah,
But anyway.
but it does make me think. It's a while. Actually, probably it was on doing a kind of a sporting event or something like that, because you do travel on coaches quite a bit, or buses from place to place. But I don't think I've got a coach trip or been on a coach trip for a long time. I mean, I've got the Divine Comedy song National Express running through my head now, inevitably. Other coach companies are available, as we heard from Andreas. But maybe you could sing the praises of coach travel today.
Last time you were on, they were probably using the Euro 5 engine. Now, obviously, onto the Euro 6.
The Euro 6.
Onto the Euro 6, as Andreas so widely told us. Yeah.
Anyway,